Good evening and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. And again, I'm back here again today, May 17th of 2025. Wow. That's a lot of years. I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. It started with me in 2010. And in 2015, 5 years later, 3 of my 6 children were stolen and put into foster care. They were trafficked. That's right, you heard me right. By a rogue CPS entity, which I call the Child Protection System. Every state has counties, and every county has a government entity. It was started in 1962 when Congress enacted that Social Security would protect our children, not Social Security, social services would protect our children from neglect and abuse. It was formed. It wasn't until 1974 that they developed the rules to enforce it. And then in 1978, they had the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, which protected our native children or Indian children who were the first immigrants to the New World, North America, a long time ago before the Vikings, who were a long time exploring North America before Christopher Columbus or anybody else. And by the way, Christopher Columbus did not set foot on North America. He found his way in a place in the Caribbean. And the indigenous natives he discovered, he called them Indias because he thought he was in India. He thought he was in the West Indies, that he discovered India. So he called it indigenous people. So everybody had pretty much used the name Indian due to Mr. Columbus here. Now, in North America, there's Canada and the United States. And Canada is a wonderful, wonderful country with 9 provinces. They call their states provinces. Lots of them. Now, the provinces in Canada, there are 6, 3 and 3 is 6, 9. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. 9, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12. There are 13 provinces in Canada. I'm thinking of South Africa. And why I bring up these countries is because this is a worldwide live stream. We have people from around the world, 23 countries, including the United States. 23 countries have the same problem the U.S. does. We encounter rogue CPS that do not support our families, do not provide intervention at early ages. They want to create a surveillance system and take away our children. And it was further compounded by the 1994 law that President Clinton signed in the incentive, which rewarded the child protection systems $35,000 for having a child adopted in foster care. No longer was her family reunification the main theme. So I'm telling you, it's been pretty bad. Not all CPS are bad. Just like not all policemen are bad. But I encountered bad policemen and bad CPS workers in my case. It was terrible. Anyway, I'm here tonight to help you all with your CPS case. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a dad. I've helped raise 6 children. 3 of my children are very successful with families and doing well in life. They were not caught up when CPS attacked my family. My 3 youngest children, who were very young at the time, were taken. It was a terrible thing when your life is turned upside down, and CPS did that. I know where you're coming from. A lot of you are heartbroken. A lot of you feel your intestines are pulled out. A lot of you are suffering the pain and grief of fighting an agency that is very, 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 very corrupt. I've been doing this twice a day, 7 days a week, week after week, month after month, and year after year. I've not missed one day of doing this live stream. I'm here to help you. I've developed 5 laws that will help you, or 5 rules to go by that I should have done in my case. And I'm really sincere about helping you. I come on here. It's very hard to repeat my story over and over and over. Twice a day I've been doing this. Over 1,700 people I've talked to around the world. That's 1,700 people.
Wow, how that happened.
And I'm glad that you joined me tonight. And I know, excuse me for the interruption here because I'm broadcasting from my home. Now, a lot of you come in here and don't know what to do. This is an interactive live stream. We have certain things that I need to get out of the way here. To talk about first, one way you can interact is text me a comment or a question. You can text me a message, but it should either be a comment or a question that should pertain to CPS. Please state your first name. Now, I know a lot of you have handles and names, but if I call you the Pink Elephant Runners or the Quasmo Q Bears or something else, it's hard for me to keep a straight face. I prefer simple names. So if you could say your first name only, that would be great. Then I'd like to know where you're from. I want to know your city or your county, your state, and if you're outside the United States, which 22 countries are, and your country. And some of you have provinces and states. So please tell me about your CPS case from the beginning to where you're at so I can help you. I'm here to answer any questions you may have, or the research on the internet and find any question you may want. Don't forget John.
Yeah,
And
what about you?
no, I'm fine. So I know it's hard. It's hard where you're at because what's happened is that unfortunately you met the wrong rogue outfit. It's really, really, really sad because you don't know what to do. You really do not know what to do. Now, I also have another way of interacting. You can be a guest on my live stream. I'd love to have you as a guest. And I can have 9 of you to be my guest because I can take 10 people on this live stream and all of you can be talking. So I'd love for you to be my guest. All you have to do is email my show producer. Her name is Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And she will help you by giving you a link, and you just copy and paste the link. And if you get knocked off, paste it again because it's good for that show. And she'll tell you certain things you cannot do and do, such as no eating or smoking on the show, no use of names. And because we don't want to talk about judges or social workers or children's names, so keep them out of here. Also, no profanity too, please. This is a family show, meaning that we have to be careful what we say on here. So that is a second way And she will talk to you further. She'll help you with your video and your audio if you have any questions. Now, a third way you can interact is to call my number. That means my phone's live. It's 626 698 0990. And I will answer you because it's turned on right now. And okay. So I want to encourage you to interact, to ask a question. A lot of you are here for support because right now you don't get support from your family, your friends. People think CPS is evil and bad, and it is, but you have to learn how to work through them. There are bad things in life. We all encounter bad things in life. Life faces you on a long road. And I correlate that road that you are like a locomotive train on railroad tracks. Your right side is heading to heaven, and your left side is a circle of life. And between the tracks are wooden ties that connect you and give you hiccups along the way. Now, circle of life was something I learned from the Lion King. We're all born helpless. We all die helpless. Life sometimes is big circles and sometimes is small circles. People do not know when they're going to die. God does, but you don't know. So it can happen at any time of your life, at the most unexpected time. But I believe in God. And I have to because CPS is so evil and so bad. So my faith in God keeps me going. So think of that railroad tracks and think of you going along it. We all want to go to heaven. We certainly don't want to go the other direction. But we're going to have hiccups along the way, and this CPS is a big hiccup. It can be very traumatic to you. Just today, I guess this morning, I was listening to a video of my daughter who was forced to divorce her parents by the social worker who was retaliating on the parents that she was after. She got caught committing perjury in court. She lied under oath. And I had hired an attorney a year into my case in 2016. My case started actually in 2010, and it started with a group of fake calls by family members. It was sad. There are two kinds of reporters. There's mandated reporters who are the professionals they have to by law. Anybody that works with children, such as your doctors and nurses, healthcare professionals, your teachers, your principal, your counselors, your firemen, your policemen, all those people required by law to report neglect or abuse. Now, 75% of the cases that are brought to the ears of CPS are about neglect. Only 25% is abuse. And the sad thing about it is 50% of the children or the families investigated are Black. It's a culture that they somehow pick on. Now, the Native American Indians, they never really investigate. They just steal their children point blank. Now, the history of child welfare and the well-being of protecting our children is divided into three parts. It started in the 1600s and colonial days, and there's records of people doing awful things to children and being punished for it. And so from 1600 to 1875 was part one. Now, part two was important for two things. In 1875, the society in New York started forming an organization to protect our children. It's a very wealthy society. So they were taking care of our children and helping us. But at the same token, we as a race felt were more superior than the first immigrants, the Native American Indians. So we're rounding them off, putting on to reservations, stealing their children, and put them into schools, cutting the children's hair, wiping their language, erasing their culture. They could no longer speak the language or talk, or do the rituals that you normally do or anything. And they were taken from their families. And they never saw their families. When they died, families never know. And that went on for over 100 years. It wasn't until 1875 when the Indian Child Welfare Act was passed, which said that CPS must find out if the children they're investigating are Indian children, because if they are, they're turned over to the Indian tribe, and the tribe will take care of them and do what is very important is family reunification. That's where our emphasis should be on our children, family reunification, and we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It hurts when you have a president of the United States sign into law the Incentive Act, which basically tells that the CPS entities in every county will get rewarded $35,000 for having a child adopted in foster care. They're rewarded. So that stops the push for family reunification because that takes at least a year. It takes at least a year. And hello, Debbie Anderson, and welcome tonight. A warm welcome to you, Debbie. And I have no idea where you're from, but welcome. And if you have something you want to say, you can call in right now at 626-698-0990. Now, the other number on the screen you see, 888-888-6582, is the office of Vincent W. Davis. There, you can call in and do lots of things. When you call in, you'll be reaching reception. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, make sure you say Bob Pace sent you. You can get copies of books and guidelines. You can find out the schedule when Vincent Davis is on. He does live stream like I do. He doesn't do as much as I do, but he's a busy man defending families and getting their children back. He is a real deal. He is trained in the art of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, which are the three areas that the child protection system utilizes. So that's the kind of attorney you need. He's gotten back thousands of children. He's a trial attorney. He has 39 years fighting CPS. He once was a foster kid himself, so he knows about the foster system. He also does civil lawsuits. When the case is closed, he has won millions of dollars by suing CPS either in state court or federal court. He's a pit bull of attorney, and he does know the law very well. He undertakes so many people. He gives a lot of his free time and free service that he's suddenly overwhelmed. He's a guy that'll have cases. He's fighting up in Kern County, in LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. Now, if you're here locally, he's in Arcadia. To retain him is only $5,000. That's to start your lawsuit, your law case against CPS. And he's a $500 an hour attorney. Now, I know the other day, a couple from Georgia was asking how much would it be for him to come to Georgia. He's a $125,000 retainer. And a lot of that money is the per diem, because when Vincent leaves, he needs airfare to get there, ground transportation to and from the airport to the hotel and to the courtroom. He needs accommodation and food because he's not living where his home is normally and where it's locally and so forth. So he does need that help. And so that's why it is high. Also, it depends on your case, whether it's been going on a long time or how complex the case is. But if you want to hire Vincent Davis, just tell me where you live and what your case is about, and I will gladly get a quote from him. And I help you with the process of signing up for him. I have the paperwork, and I can set you up. I can set you up. Now, Debbie says Medicine Lodge, Kansas. I think you've been on before, Debbie, because Medicine Lodge is sticking in my head. And I'm glad you come back, Debbie. Would you like to talk about your case in Medicine Lodge, Kansas? That sounds like a pretty place, Medicine Lodge. Today was a hard day for me. Some people ask me, how you doing? It's hard when you relive the experiences you suffered 15 years ago. I regret what the children had to go through, and a lot of it's compounded by the social workers, by the people that think they're doing good, like the CASA people, the court appointed social advocate. That's what CASA stands for. There's supposed to be people that will help you with your case, and their friend. The downside is a lot of them are corrupt. And I'm telling you right now, do not disclose any information about your case to them. They provide a CASA for each parent and each child. Supposedly, quote, alleges that they're there to help the child or the parent through this emotional time. But instead, they're blabbermouth. I'm going to be bluntly with you. They sit there and they blab everything that your child says or you say, and they will hang you. And I'm trying to tell you, I really hate saying that. Now, not all CASA people are bad, just like not all social workers. But you're in a forest that's very thick, and you can't see through the forest. And you can't tell who's good and who's bad. The same thing goes for social workers. The social workers are the same way. And I saw a video today about CASA portraying my child and using her to promote their CASA business. And it's wrong. And she was duped. She was duped.
Hey, we could say something about that, I think.
And she was really duped in saying that. And so I can't use names. I certainly don't want to talk about my family names. And I want to keep things kind of confidential. But I'm very blessed to have my wife and my two sons live together, and we have somewhat of a family. I lost my home fighting CPS. My wife and I lost one child fighting CPS. We had two of our older children turn against us because of CPS. My wife's mother and father and three sisters and brothers have been horrible towards her. For 5 years, from 2010 to 2015, they would call once a week and fabricate things. Our daughter, our oldest daughter, when we ran out of money in 2010, she wanted to make money because she wanted money. Everybody gets wants money, so she'd go work next door with the lady that lived next door. But I did not know that she was telling the whole story of what was happening in her family. And that lady called CPS. And so we started to have lay people call in and make fabricated stories. It got so bad when I was losing my house. There was a mean man, and he was forcing me to sell my house, to get out of my house. He wanted to take our house. And what he did is he broke down the door to our house to get in. And he got a fake paperwork signed by the code enforcement people and fabricated. I just saw it today on my phone. I was looking at my phone and I saw the notice that came from them that allow him to break down the door to investigate the house. He wanted to see what was in there so when he wanted to buy it. But he intimidated us family. He'd put stickers all over my car with his fabricated warning that he had the law or code enforcement to take care of it. And that was wrong. He put it on my window of my house. He actually one night went and cut all the wires in an electrical box, and it cost me $2,000 to repair it. We had no power.
They cut all of them off.
And this guy eventually got my house on a quick sale, which was, he got it for what I paid for. It was sad. I lost all the equity. I lost all the worth the house was. As soon as he bought the house, it went up 300,000. And now the house is up there twice is what I paid for. So I'm telling you, CPS is bad. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. Now, hello, Felicia, and thank you for calling me Uncle Bob. Felicia is cruel from Ventura, and she has a horrible case where her brother has turned the family against Cruel. Her mother is missing, and we do not know what she is. She's been kicked out of her house by the family members. Her 2 babies were stolen, and the family has done nothing but to make her life miserable. And Cruel says she has a question. I'm so glad you're here, Cruel. Is it true to obtain a copy of my CPS court trial filing transcripts? It's always is costly. Well, if you fill out a financial that you're destitute and you don't have the money, you fill out the form and you can get the court papers for free. I did it. My wife did it. The court recorder at the county receives them every time a previous social worker said yes. Where you get the court papers in the dependency court, there's a clerk. You go to the clerk's office and say you want a copy of everything that's been entered into court. There you'll see all the social workers' reports, all the judges' reports, and everything. My stack of my case that was 3 years old was about 4 feet high. I had it in the living room and it's stacked so high. It's unbelievable what they generate. It's all full of lies. You're supposed to receive a report. It's supposed to be mailed to you. I spoke yesterday for a copy. $1 a page or $4 a page. That's wrong. You can tell Cruel that you are low income, that you don't have the money at $1 or $4 a page. And you can request it. There's actually a computer when you go in the clerk's office and you can look at your documents online. You can read them. You don't have to have copies. You can sit there for hours and look at it. You can sit there and look at it for hours.
No.
My court-appointed trial attorney said he gave me a copy. He'll give you a copy. Well, I don't know what about a court-appointed attorney. I cannot trust him.
You can't.
You can't trust
You
him.
can't trust them. Evil.
I'm sorry, I have some background noise. But Cruel, you're being taken advantage and you're being had. You can get the documentation if you can't afford it. And I know that you're low income. You fill out the federal form and prove to them that all you have is your income, either from your Social Security or if you got a little job. I don't know what you do to generate income. But it's wrong for them to sit there and want to charge it.
You don't want this? Well, I'm going to get out of
Give this to John.
You know what to do.
You have access online. You go to the computer at the clerk's office and it's free for you to use. It's free for you to use. And all you do is you put your case number. Every court case has a case number. And that's how you look up your case. It's a case number. Hello, Tiffany Davis, and welcome. I called and did an intake. This is a scam. You called where did you do an intake? And what is a scam, Tiffany? What are you talking about? you called and did an intake and this is a scam. I'm really kind of lost at words because I've been doing this now for 19 months. As I say, I've talked to 23 countries, including the US. I've talked to Indonesia, Bangladesh, and India. I've talked to the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia and Libya. I've talked to Africa and talked to Liberia. I've talked to Sudan. I've talked to Republic of Congo, Rwanda. I've talked to Mozambique. And then I've talked to several provinces, 9 of them, in South Africa. I've only talked to maybe 2 of the provinces in South Africa. Then up to Europe, I've talked to England, Scotland, and Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond, I've talked to North America, and I've talked to Canada. I've talked to 4 provinces in Canada. Nova Scotia, Ontario, Quebec, are some of the provinces I've talked to. I've talked to all 50 states in the US, some of them many times over. And I've also talked to the District of Columbia. Then as we go south, I've talked to Mexico, and then I talk to a country called Grenada in South America and north of Brazil on the East Coast. Then across the Pacific, I've talked to New Zealand, and I've talked to Australia, and they have states, and I've talked to Queensland and Victoria. Those are the 2 states there. So I have quite a lot of people, 1,000 over 700 people. Now, Tiffany says, this lawyer never answers my texts or calls. Talking about doesn't mean anything. Could you refer what lawyer and where are you located, Tiffany? Tiffany Davis, where are you located? And what attorney are you saying they never answer your text or call? If you talk on my show, you can call right now at 626-698-099. I'll give a chance for you to talk to a real attorney. You're in New York, okay. And I have about 3 or 4 people from New York. One is called KK Richardson, and she has a show on Monday night. Now, I have no idea what attorney you're trying to talk to, but if you call in to my show, Westchester County, okay. If you call into my show or you're a guest on my show, I will set you up for a free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. He is a licensed attorney in the area of dependency law, juvenile law, and family law. It sounds like you need help. Why don't you call me right now at 626-698-0990? I'm going to try to help you. You sent in your paperwork. Sent the paperwork to who? Anyway, I'm trying to help you, Tiffany. Cruel says, the only computer I've seen that looks like citizens on use them within our county courthouse are in a self-help window service center. Of course, they're atop the high countertops with no chairs. Well, I can only talk from experience. I don't know what Ventura County CPS is like. In Orange County Child Protection Services, at the courthouse, there's the clerk office. When you walk in the door, there's several windows where they can help you. Then across from them is a long table with computers and chairs with instructions of how you can look at your court cases. And then you write down what you want, the time periods, and then they will fill it out after you fill a form. Good. I'm glad you are calling in, Tiffany. I'd love to talk to you. We have Tiffany from New York, from Westchester, who's going to call in at 626-698-0990. And I have no idea that talking doesn't mean anything. I'm here to help you. I'm not an attorney, but I'm straightforward and honest. And I will help you as best as I can. You can ask Cruel, who comes in here, how much I've helped her. Good evening. You've reached the live stream of Bob Pace with the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. How can I help you?
Yes, good evening, Bob. this is Tiffany Davis. I was just tuning in because we spoke about 2 weeks ago regarding the situation that I thought, I asked you. I need an attorney to go inside so I could file this court case, not for a family dispute, for a lawsuit against the Westchester. Told you I was indicated 5 times, but each one of those times it was unfounded. Okay, and so I got a text message days later from the attorney stating that how can he help me? I don't need him to go inside a family court. I need him to file this lawsuit that these same CPS workers did it each time, 2022, 2023. 24 and 25, but all each was overturned. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that you are calling me from New York, but which attorney are you talking about is a scam?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Davis, I believe, sent me a text message. Actually, let me see. I think they sent me a text message.
How did Mr. Davis get a hold of you, Tiffany? How will you come about?
Because I had, as a matter of fact, April 21st.
Okay.
Of this year, I actually on this page here, I think it was a number or something like that. I had called and I want to, speak to him to see I could do an intake as far as, trying to pursue this lawsuit for these damages because the way the CPS workers and the county attorney pursued with this case, they falsified the evidence. And my kids right now still is placed in foster care. And like I said, once again, my paperwork showed none of these allegations occurred. But some way and somehow, with this crookedness and these damaged judges, still kept my kids inside of the foster care system. And I don't know where they at. I can't talk to them. They put these order protections against them, but there was no crime or no abuse or maltreated was evidence that Tiffany me did anything.
Well, how did you connect? How did you connect with Mr. Davis?
I've been watching his videos since 2022.
Okay.
I had up how you go against the CPS workers, just how to sue, and etc. So I've been following him for a while now. Like I said, my first child was going out of my care since.
So when you text him. What did he text back to you?
Okay, so when he texted, he said, "Good morning. This is Attorney Rich Davis responding to your inquiring about a CPS matter. How can I help?" And I said, "Yes, I would like to file a lawsuit. I'm sending over the documents, and let's make this clear. I don't need a lawyer for family court. I need a lawyer to file in Supreme Court or federal." So I sent him the appeal from the state Office of Children and Family Services, which is the decision that was made, and I sent him that. I sent him, who was the judge and etc. And it says it on the front of the paper that if you want to, file a lawsuit, these are the steps to go on, but you have to, consult with a lawyer. Once again, I had tried to do it myself, but to do this type of lawsuit is really, really, the steps. I don't have education for that.
Right. Did you know that most people that are attorneys fighting CPS, most attorneys, I will not do a lawsuit. By the way, it's federal court and state court. Those are the two jurisdictions you can file a lawsuit. But you can only file a lawsuit once your case is over. Is your case over?
Okay. This is how it goes. This is how it went down. My first case was with my child's father. He brought the allegations to court, okay?
Okay.
That went on for 3 years, okay?
Okay, and how did that end?
That went on for 3 years. That ended with the child being returned to me. The judge, Marianne Scatterado, she threw out his case, dismissed his petition, which I have. And so after that, CPS comes back, the county, which is the county, and to have these allegations against me and stating that my son didn't want to come back home to me because he's afraid of me. So they came to bring their petition against.
Now, wait a
So that's
minute.
how that turned
You
out.
said that the case
Yeah.
was thrown out. Now, did they mail you a letter that you no longer have a case? Did you have your records expunged?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I do.
So then why did they bring a second case against you?
Right. This is what I needed help with. Right. Exactly.
Why
The
did they
second
do
one,
that? Why did they do that?
Because the first one I won, and they hit me again with the same allegation. Like I said.
Well,
I
did
sent my paperwork
someone call in again? Did your ex-husband call in again?
No, I don't know who called in. It don't tell me who called in,
Right.
but I have. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I have the narrator, but I don't know who the person that called in.
Okay.
So when that person called
So when
in
you
again,
went to CPS, did you have an
Yes.
attorney to defend yourself on the second accusation?
yes, I did.
And what did
Yes.
that attorney do for you?
That was to be unfounded as well. I went in with a
Okay, did the
administrative judge,
CPS
and that
give
was
you a notice that the case was resolved? Did they give you a written notice?
yes, correct, that it was closed.
Okay, so why can you not file a lawsuit against the Westchester CPS?
Why can't I? Because I don't know the steps.
All right.
This is what
Now,
I'm saying.
Vincent does have many videos and guides of how to do lawsuits, and he will take on a
Okay.
lawsuit, but he does not do it for free.
Okay.
He has a retainer, and as I explained in an early part of my show, his retainer for LA County is $5,000 for a typical CPS case. He's a $500 an hour attorney, but when he goes out of state, he has to put per diem on top of his retainer. That per diem is the cost of airfare.
Is he a civil attorney? I'm looking for a civil attorney, so I don't have to
Yeah.
pay out of pocket. He
No, he has both.
$3,000.
He is a juvenile, family law, and dependency attorney with a civil case background. He's won millions of dollars against CPS. Millions. He's won it all. And all you have to do is talk to KK Richardson from Brooklyn, New York. She's near you. She has a show on Monday nights at 5:30.
Okay.
And her name is KK Richardson. KK Richardson,
Okay.
and she's from Brooklyn, New York. I also have,
Brooklyn, New York.
yeah, I also have Tony the Tiger is his handle on YouTube, but it's called Cassandra. And he's from Ostenago, New York. He will talk to you too. I have about 4 or 5 people from New York that call me regularly. And I'm sorry if Mr. Davis, you think he's a scam. I don't know what he promised you or what he talked about.
No, he didn't promise me anything. He didn't answer me.
So
all the text messages continuous to say the same thing, and it looked like a robot is behind that text message, sir. I keep saying what I need help with, but the messages keep saying, "Oh, hello, my name is Rich Davis," and I'm like, "Okay, this got to be some type of scam or something going on because this is not a real person." You follow?
Well,
this is what
yeah.
I'm getting at.
Well, now you're talking to him. By the way, when you get through talk tonight, I'm going to offer you a chance to have a free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. It'll be set up by my show producer who will let the gentleman talk to you, and you make a list of your questions, and you can talk to him for 15 minutes. But believe me, he is not a scam. He's the real deal. He got back my children, I know firsthand. Now, I know that he's done lots of lawsuits. The problem is CPS is a sham. They want to rip you off money-wise. You can't trust them. You cannot trust them. Everything they say, they lie. They retaliate. There's no one watching them. There's no watchdog on CPS. In fact, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is the new branch that President Donald Trump created, headed by Elon Musk, is investigating all the government agencies because of the scams that have been going on. There are people that sit at home that work 40 hours, that do not work, but sit at home for 40 hours a week and get a paycheck. There are people that make $100,000 and they get food stamps. There are people that are dead and get money that comes to the dead people. So there's a lot of government waste and a lot of government things being investigated. And one of them
Let me ask you.
is social services.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. So, what? It's just not the CPS workers. It's also the judges that
It is not only
my case,
the
right?
CPS social workers, it's the judge, it's the court appointed attorneys, it is the CASA, which is the court appointed service
Yeah.
associate, I think is what that's called. There is the ombudsperson. All those people are corrupt, but not every place is corrupt. See, that's the problem. You're in this forest and you can't see, and you can't tell one tree from the next tree. There are evil out there, and you don't know it until you get involved with them. But anytime an allegation comes in, CPS says it's true. You have to prove yourself innocent. You're guilty, and you need to prove yourself innocent. That's how the law works in CPS. It isn't like any other court system.
Right, and I have.
Yeah.
And I have.
Yeah.
5 times. And I have documents of that.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. It became to be like a discrimination and to steal government funding for their pockets as well. Because, like I said, once again, I asked the worker that's on the sign, the foster care worker, why are my children placed in foster care? And they don't know that answer. All they continuously to say to me is, you have to ask the judge. We don't know why.
Well,
That's what they're telling me. You hear me, sir?
yeah, they know why, because what it is, the courtroom has a judge. The judge is supposed to be a referee. You have the plaintiffs and you have the defendants. Now, you are the defendant. And typically, most people have the wrong kind of attorney as the defendant. They may have a court-appointed attorney with a background in criminal law, but not a background in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. And then what will also happen, they'll hire an attorney that has a background in criminal law that will do you no good, and you waste your money. You don't know that as a parent. Nobody knows how CPS works until you experience it. It is a hidden government agency. It's like the IRS or social services. Or it's like you getting a new medical plan and a new doctor is added on. There's so many obstacles that you have to go through and you have to learn. And it's through trial and error. The worst agency to work through trial and error is the child protection system. That is the worst error. I mean, you are in really a land of really bad times. And I'm sorry that this has affected you so bad. And,
okay, once again, so the judge appointed me attorney once again, right?
Well,
But
if he
then no
appoints you
attorney has
attorney,
picked up my case.
that attorney will not fight for your case. He or she does not know about family law, juvenile law, or dependency law. Also, they have a caseload of 30 more clients. They don't have time to talk to you away from the courtroom. They don't have time to meet with you. They certainly don't have time to fight for your case. They want the easy way out. So getting a court-appointed attorney is great because it's free to you, but it's ridiculous because they'll do nothing for you. They'll cause you a heartache.
Question. Right now, the judge appointed me. What attorney has been assigned to my case of death? This happened about 4 or 5 times. So how do I get attention to speak to let the court know that no attorney has picked up my case yet?
Well, what you can do, if you're not getting a court-appointed attorney and you still want one, you can go to the attorney's office. You go to the public defender's office and tell them that you need another attorney. This attorney is not working out.
I have done that.
Okay, and you can replace attorney. There's no statute of limitations how many attorneys you can replace. But I'm trying to tell you, you're going to go nowhere, especially if the judge doesn't like you, social services doesn't like you, and these public defenders don't like you. It's all a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
Correct.
And so what you're doing is you become very frustrated in a system, and they penalize Black people more than they penalize white people. 50% of the cases of neglect, I mean, it's terrible. While they pick on the Black people. It really is. And it's wrong. It is so wrong because, just because you're black doesn't mean that you don't have equal rights. This country's been like that. The Native American Indians experienced the same thing. The Chinese are brought over from railroads were experienced the same thing. The Japanese that are interned up in California because of World War II experienced the same thing. German immigrants, because of World War II, were in prison. There's a lot of races. The Irish people that were starving, the potato famine, came over to the United States and had a rough time. So it isn't just one group over another group, but children will do their best with their families. The child welfare system has for too long confused poverty with neglect and punishes families who are poor with separation rather than offering them services. They don't want to offer them services, which is sad because they should be offering them services. They just don't. They do fear in you. They create fear. And they do separation. And it creates child safety problems. What they're selling isn't the truth. It's fear. And that fear fuels a system that too often harms the very children it claims to protect. The real truth is that children do best with their families. The children welfare system has far too long confused poverty with neglect, punishing families who are poor with separation than rather offer them the supports that keep their family safety together. They keep them safe, safety together. What child systems do, the child protection system do, is that they also label neglect with the symptom of poverty. Just because you have a low income doesn't mean you're neglecting your children. Inadequate housing or food insecurity or lack of child care or missed medical appointments. It's very important that we reach out and give those resources. When you lose your home in a disaster like a fire or a hurricane, they should try to give you a temporary housing. And one of my solutions is that there are thousands and thousands of mobile homes and RVs that the National Guard could fly in and put on an apron and have your house rebuilt until you get your move back in your house. And they can provide it a lot cheaper. Everywhere there's lots and lots of empty RVs and empty mobile homes. And they already have a kitchen. They already have everything you need. All you have to do is hook up the existing plumbing and electrical to that trailer. But they need to provide adequate housing. They also need to give out the food stamps to low income. They make it so hard to get that. And when children miss medical appointments, that is bad because they need to see a doctor for whatever's ailed them. And 1/3 of all children in the U.S. experience a child protection service by age 18. 1/3 of all children in the U.S. And 50% Black children experience by the time they're 18. These investigations are invasive, traumatic, and often lead to unnecessary separation. Yet there's little evidence that these disruptions lead to a better outcome. The fact is, research shows just the opposite. Research shows the opposite. And this was proven in a notable magazine published by the Journal of American Medical Association, Pediatrics, found that children placed in foster care are more likely to experience mental health issues. My son experienced a lot of mental health issues, struggling in school, encountering the criminal legal system than their peers who remain in the home. So if the children are kept in a home, they won't experience the mental health issues or struggle in school or encounter the criminal legal system. Even when those peers live in similar challenged conditions. So I'm just trying to tell you that the problem is not an easy fix. I'm hoping that the Department of Government Efficiency investigates CPS. I'm already done. Mom's done.
Oh, the show's done.
No, you can have your food. I mean, it's yours. It's all there. Okay. Is that making any sense to you, ma'am? Did I lose you, ma'am? Oh boy, I think I lost my speaker. Let me see if I can get her back. I think we lost somebody here. We lost Tiffany Davis from New York, from Westchester County. Let me call her again. There's 5 things. You got a lot of food. Yeah, hey, Tiffany, I lost you. So I'm back again. I don't know if you heard what I talked about, but we need to offer help to people, not penalize them because they're low income.
Right. Low income. I don't have nothing.
I know you do, sir. Are you the other half of Tiffany? Yeah, I know you are. And I've been there. I know what you're going through. And it's sad because a lot of the Americans are low income. And it's hard because we need to have this agency supposed to provide us help.
Right.
They're supposed to provide us
Taking
help.
advantage of me.
And they just don't. They
Taking
just
advantage
don't.
of me, sir.
They don't. It's okay, sir. But
They taking full advantage of us, sir.
well, they say that if they said if the state spent public benefits on programs, that says for every $1,000 additional dollar per person living in poverty was spent on public benefits, the child maltreatment fatalities dropped by 8%. Sometimes the maltreatment are related to the children. Right.
No assistance from the government. I work every day, but I take care of my family. And at the end of the day, these people is just trying to run. Don't have the knowledge.
That's
I
true.
don't have court knowledge. I don't have that knowledge.
That's
But
true.
I do
That's
know
true.
that my constitutional rights has been fully broken. My due process been violated. It's just these people have made my life a living miserable hell, and they playing with my children. How's my children placed in foster care? I have 5 overturned, indicated harassing us. They're putting us through. They constantly lying. It's like it shouldn't. Something got to stop. I've been called the FBI, sir. It got so sick because I'm really ready to have a mental breakdown.
Well, what you can do is I'm going to give you somebody better than the FBI. I'm going to give you the White House area code 202. There's 2 numbers that go to the White House.
White House, there you go. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
And that is a good number. I'm not disputing that. Let me get them up here for you. I'm talking about DOGE. Have you heard about Doge before?
No. Well, my wife, she mentioned something about Washington D.C. No, I haven't heard of them that agency
okay.
before, but
Doge was started by the new president in January, and what it is the Department of Government Efficiency. And
okay.
what they
What's it called? How you spell it?
DODGE.
Oh, Doge.
Doge.gov.
Almost like Dodge.
Almost like Dodge. Doge.
Right,
DOGE. And they are called the Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE.
Okay.
And their purpose is to investigate all the government. And they're investigating social services right now. They're investigating social service right now. And they have 2 numbers that you can call in.
Okay, let me get those numbers.
Yeah, I'll give them to you here.
because this got to stop. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it's like, you know, and it's for nothing. And I'm not chasing money, but at the end of the day, they have made my life so miserable, and you know, and I just want justice. I just want justice. I really want justice.
I understand.
The only one going through this, but at the end of the day, it's like enough is enough. When some, you know, certain families, you know, they.
Right.
You know, I look around today at my household. My household is totally empty, sir. We have
Right.
4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and no kids.
Right.
And no goddamn kids.
The White House
saying?
numbers.
So
Here are the White House numbers. You have paper and pencil?
Okay.
It's
Yes,
area code 202 456.
202
Yeah, 456
456.
1111. That's 4 ones.
Okay, so it's 202-456-1111.
Right. And the other number is area code 202 456 456
456
1414.
1414.
Right. And this Department of Government Efficiency is working on trying to fix government.
Right.
And if there's something wrong with social services, the child welfare program, you need to tell them that you're at your wit's end, that you've gone through your governor, you've gone through your senators and your representatives, you've gone through your civil rights coordinator at the Capitol of New York, and you've gone through your ombudsperson, you've gone to the federal, you've gone to the state level, you've gone to the county level, and you're at rope's end because no one is listening to what the problem is.
No, they definitely not. Yeah, that's what I need because,
And just because you're at a poverty, just because you're low income, and I don't want to say it's poverty because people think it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because you're low income,
Right.
you should never be penalized for being low income.
Right.
And that's what CPS
I'm
does.
not gonna say it's low. I'm low income like I am, but you know what? I'm just, you know, I'm not educated in law, and you know they using these, you know, these court words, court numbers.
I know they are.
And, you know, and I can't, you know, and like the lawyers that they appointed to me, I know they're not in my favor because if I ask my lawyer to put in a motion for something and he's constantly contesting to tell me, you know, you gotta have this and this. I don't have to have anything. If I'm accused of something, I don't have to prove a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Why I have to? If people are accusing me of doing something wrong, I don't have to sit there and
Well, you have to work in the court systems. I mean, there's a guy right now for the past 4 days, right now is being accused. Diddy Combs is right now being accused, and has the money to hire attorneys, which a lot of people don't have, because I hate to say it, the court is where it's like Donald Trump was charged all 4 years. He was being convicted of things. And what I'm trying to say is the people could see through the evil of all these things. And now he's trying to make changes. I think what he's doing a good thing, but people are scared. And the people are scared are the ones that make a lot of money, that have a safe cushion, and they are scared because he is now finding all the dirt there is in government. And he's exposing a lot of people there. And he's also a good negotiator. He did help Pakistan and India come to a ceasefire. He's helping Israel and Gaza come to a ceasefire. He is being hardline against Russia. People don't realize that he is really a hard line against Russia. Putin is in a corner for what they're doing to Ukraine. So what Trump is doing, he is covering a lot of bases. He's also very vocal and very public. He does not hide anything. And he makes his expressions right away. Whether they're right or wrong, he's not afraid to tell you that. But he does it in a respectful way. He does it in a respectful way. I mean, we don't need criminals in the United States, so he deports them. He already told, that's one of his campaign. He's going to close the border and not let every Tom, Dick, and Harry and commit crimes in here. So he is doing that.
Right,
And
correct.
maybe innocent people
Yeah,
are caught up, you know.
But they need to clean up. They need to help me because at the end of the day, like I said, I can't. It's like it's no win for me. I can't even like. It's gone to the point, sir. To be honest, today a court officer, a Westchester court officer, this morning they called my phone this morning 9:00, talk about that he wants. Can I come talk to him? I need to come talk to him because I'm calling DSS harassing him.
Well, first of all, you know, if you call and really harass people, you will not get anywhere. My best thing is accept what they're saying, get on with it, get your children back. You'll eventually get them back. And you know that you can't fight them because you don't have the money and you don't have the professional lawyers to fight them. So you're stuck. Yeah.
I'm not harassing.
But
I'm calling to find out
I know
about my daughters. My kids. I haven't seen my daughters in 2 months. It's some change.
Well, one thing you can do is you can call 911 and report a missing person. And it's record.
I did that.
Because if you call the police, or call CPS, they will hide the records. But 911 will not hide the records.
Right. Okay. Right.
They're a public entity, and they will protect what you said. So if your daughter is really missing, and CPS and the police won't tell you, then you call 911 and you want to report a missing person. After 72 hours, you can do that. Or it's 24 hours.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's 24 hours. 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. Yeah.
I think so. Let me go check New York. Let me go check in New York. What is the law for reporting missing person in New York?
Yeah, we need help. I know, like I said, we need a voice because we know Westchester County, they corrupted. They very corrupted. They have the family court, the CPS department, with all together, all that's in the same on the same floor in the same department. How is that?
They're in cahoots.
Yeah, they definitely in cahoots. They're making fake orders, unlawful orders. This judge is signing unlawful orders. He saying that we was in court present when I never even been to family court last year. Never had you know what I'm saying? So I'm confused.
Yeah.
Why would judge risk his job for somebody's kid that these people are improperly doing? Like you unlawfully removing kids from families that's not abusive, neglectful, and none of that. We taxpaying citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like we show them everything, nothing to hide. Like at the end of the day, the only thing we was in transition of moving, and they tried to keep us in that county, which we didn't want to. We don't have to stay in that county. We moved, and y'all trying to say, you know what I'm saying? Somebody neglecting kids for we supposed to be supervised. What did we supervise? What? Supervised of doing what? Like my wife, she did everything. She did all her forensics, parenting classes, everything these people told her to do. And they still not respecting what's going on. Because they the kids saying they want to come home. How's y'all keeping us in somewhere where we don't supposed to be for no reason? For school? Like you can use it for school. Which we got all our stuff lined up, and everything is, it speaks for itself. But what they doing is unprofessionalism work. You know what I'm saying? They definitely they using their emotions and their attitudes, and they coming to work with their problems. And just because you give them a a little attitude because I don't have time for lies and bullshit. So I can't react to something that's false. I can't react to something that's, you know what I'm saying, some fake ass allegations, some false ass accusations. I don't have to respond in a happy and when y'all sitting here lying and y'all been doing it for years. You're constantly doing it for years.
Right.
Constantly continuously
Right.
harassing.
Right.
So
Right.
how am I arresting to get that calling about to get paperwork, information about my daughters, which all they say is we don't know. You have to call your attorney. You have to doing the work. Y'all report to the judge.
Yeah.
Everything that the judge knows, it comes from y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the judge is a referee. A judge is a referee. It's like a football game.
Right, a
You
referee.
got a football
Right.
game. If you know anything about football, you have offense and defense.
Right.
And then you have the referees that try to settle disputes and laws and so forth. That's how a courtroom is.
Right.
A courtroom has a referee that is a judge. And then there are the plaintiff attorneys and the defendant attorneys. And these are like two football teams going against each other. And the
Right.
referee is a judge. He or she as a judge has got to make decisions of what is right or wrong.
Right, correct. But if they trying to cover up, if the rest come out.
Well, that's why I tell people to not call the police or CPS. I tell them to call 911 because there's no cover up with 911. There's no cover up.
Right, correct. So at the end of the day, it's like we see what's going on, but you can't even. Like I said, so my back is against the wall, man. I'm very down to the bottom.
Well,
Pitch right now.
anyway, I told your other half that she can talk to Vincent Davis about any questions she has in 15 minutes. All she has to do is text me her full name, her email, and her phone number. And then I will set it up with my producer, Grace. And then Grace will set up a private one-on-one consultation. Meanwhile, I think it's Tiffany, right? I keep forgetting the names here. Yeah. Tiffany should make a list of questions and prioritize what are the most important questions. Ask them first. And when Mr. Davis, in about a week's time, will contact, and he will sit there and talk to her. And then she can sit there and say, I was speaking with Bob Pace on his show, and I'm glad I have this opportunity to talk to you because I need some help with a legal advice. And then you just tell what you want to know. How can you make them tell me where your daughter's at? How can you do this or how can you do that? You make a list of legal questions to ask them.
Right, correct. But we trying to bring the department down, sir.
Fighting City Hall is going to be an uphill battle. I had a friend, not a friend of mine, but a person that I knew and respected that was my age. Her name was Nancy Schaefer, and she's from Georgia. She was a senator in Georgia, and she was murdered. Her and her husband were murdered. And because she fought against CPS, and she died.
Murdered because they was fighting against CPS?
Right. There are people all the time. Well, you just have to look at it.
That's what they're trying to do to us, is kill us, sir.
You're not a high-profile person, but you're right. They do try to put people underneath the rug. You're right. Put them in a can full of concrete. Yeah.
They want my organs or something. What do they want from us? They want our kids. They want our organs.
Well, the reason why the kids are taken is they get money off your kids.
Right. Oh, and that's what I know.
It's $1 trillion business. They get money from the state. It flows like oil. Money from the federal government flows to the state, that flows to the county, that flows to the individual child protection system. It's like water. It just flows and flows and flows.
Correct. So let me ask you a question. So you said you was dealing with a CPS, right? Am I correct?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said you fought against CPS yourself, right?
I've been fighting for 15 years. Yes.
Wow, 15 years. So you never took up you never did a civil suit against them?
Well, my problem is I wanted to, but it would cost me $50,000 for the retainer.
It costs so much money when there's a civil. I thought civil is they get paid from the back end, like the lawyers.
Well, sometimes attorneys will do it for what they get in a case, like 30% of the collection of whatever they win. So if they sue for $1 million, they get 30% of $1 million, and you get the other 70%. Right. But a lot of attorneys won't do that in CPS matters. It depends on the civil suit you're talking about.
Okay.
That's the problem. It isn't. Believe me, it would do that. So, but the main thing is you got to keep cool when you're around CPS and judges and police. You got to be cool. You got to be so cool and not fight them and not spit at them or talk down to them, because there are bad policemen, bad judges, and bad attorneys. There are bad. So sometimes you got to eat crow. You got to eat crow. It's like if you want to catch a fly, you use sugar. You certainly don't want to use, salt or something that is going to not attract the fly.
Right.
So you sweet talk them, you butter them up, and and you just you have to know the law too. You have to really spend time on the internet and learn the law.
Yeah, I know. I already know that. Yeah. This shit is like a no-win situation for.
Well, no, we have a person in the room right now named Freeman who's saying it's not right or wrong to them. It's just money, money, money. If you don't care enough to be calm, you're falling in the hole that is dug. Don't dig the hole bigger than it already is. Thank you, Freeman. But anyway, what is your first name? What is your first name?
Who, mine?
Yeah.
Well, my first name is Delano.
All right. Glad to meet you, Delano. I want to thank you, Delano, and I want to thank your partner, Tiffany, for calling in. I want to thank Freeman for his comments. I want to thank Cruel for her comments. She's having a hard time getting copies of her records there. And so I want to thank all my listeners, because I got to close down tonight. I'm sorry. And Debbie Anderson, I want to thank you from Minneslaus, Kansas. Those are the people tonight that have been on my show. I'll be on again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So if you want to talk to me, you talk to me then. So God bless all of you. Thank you so much for calling in and talking to me. And I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. This is Bob Pace. Keep fighting for your children. Do not stop. Keep fighting for them. And God bless you all. And I'm signing off.